Looking for a good background for your player character? Well, we found a couple of them that you might enjoy. Today we're reviewing backgrounds. Welcome to the Home Brew Crew. I'm Tony, this is Sean, and today we're going to be going over some backgrounds that we found on D&D Beyond. Each one of them has their own special flair to it, and they're not that tropey, my family was killed.
I know, thankfully, or an orphan or something. It's nice because a lot of these are not what you would find in the normal book content, and they're actually very useful. I think each one could actually kind of prove to be very useful in any campaign setting.
Yeah, and they're pretty stylized too. I mean, some of these things are not only a little bit humorous, but you can use them.
Yeah,
I think you're right. I think you can use these. The first one that we kind of want to go over, I know we're going kind of quick here, but we're kind of excited. We haven't done a review like this in a couple of days, so we're like excited about it. The first one I want to review is the chef background.
Yeah, I have a player who actually insists on cooking for the party when we're traveling, and I feel bad because they have this passion for making food, and I've never had like a good idea of like how to give them a background. This is perfect.
This isn't Gorio, is it?
It is actually.
I kind of figured.
So for this one, it might have not mentioned in the actual document, but you can choose 2 skill proficiencies between history, medicine, nature, survival. Obviously, you're proficient with cooking utensils, and then you get some equipment basically made for food: cooking utensils, a cooking pot, a knife, some water skins, some things that kind of make sense.
I think the flavor text on this is pretty cool. No pun intended.
Of course.
But you're someone who knows the value of a properly seasoned stew and can tell the difference between spices by sight, taste, scent, and even their texture. From soldiers marching in the fields to the warm haven and inn to the bowls of the largest keeps, to the homes, wow, there's a lot of twos, to the homes of the common folk, you know the food and the need of food, what brings people together for every nation, religion, race, and creed. Food is your passion, it is your mission, it is your religion.
Yes.
That is a foodie. That's beautiful. Holy, yeah.
Exactly. And it goes right into the feature for this class. So
passion for food. There we go.
So when you're rolling to find food or ingredients, you get to add 2d6 to the roll. And when people consume the food that you've made, they actually get 1d4 hit points, which is awesome because I've always thought about, like, I mean, if you're eating, like, really good food, you feel good. Like, I know it's not a healing potion, it's not magic, but you feel good.
And there always should be something like that. Some of these skills we don't really get to use. Like, I know Xanathar's has all of those different skills and those traits that you can do.
Yeah.
But this background actually makes making food and taking the time to prepare it a tiny little bonus. We're talking 1d4 hit points. You know, you make a nice pancake for your for your comrades, and they feel just a little bit better.
Yeah, exactly. And then the second part of this feature is you have advantage on any Constitution saving throws whenever you're eating something that that's like poisonous or any kind of potions, which kind of makes sense. You've had all these years tasting
food, the soup.
You know it's bad. Yeah. You know it's bad. Yeah, exactly. But I think this is a great one. I mean, with all the other ones that we're going to talk about today, you could actually build your character off the background now, rather than it just being like a little detail.
Well, see, and that's the thing. I think they're supposed to inspire that.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
It's like you get into this thing where everybody is a certain I'm traveling from this town to this town because my family was killed. I'm going to let you guys know now. Everybody's family is killed.
Yes.
That's just how it works.
In D&D, you're not happy.
No. It is not a well-adjusted life.
No, it's not.
But some of these are professions that we can kind of like go back on. Okay, instead of my family being killed or what have you. No, I have a very loving family.
Yeah.
I work as a chef, and one day I went out in search of this rare turnip, and then here we are.
Yeah, exactly.
But that brings us to our second one. The artist.
Yeah, so this one, and I can already kind of see a lot of bards taking this one. This one's the artist. So, and it's not just, someone who can draw. It's going to be a poet, a writer, a sculptor, but basically you're kind of the person that was very artsy, as your background. You get to choose, you have insight as proficiency, and you can choose one of history, religion, or nature. You also get to choose tools between calligrapher's tools, painter's tools, mason's tools, or a musical instrument, makes sense. You get an extra language of your choice, and then you get a couple of like very generic kind of equipment. But the important thing is the feature is wealthy patron. So basically, you kind of get this wealthy person that kind of helps support your artistic vision.
I love that. That's crap. This,
it's like you have like a manager basically, like your own little like boss. I guess
it's neat though because I like this idea of being on the countryside, grabbing some clay up in there, and hey guys, when we get to town, I'm going to sell this pot that I made.
Right?
It's like you always have some sort of little wherewithal, and it's not like. It's not like it gives you some huge advantage.
No, not at all. But it's a nice little flavor thing, and then having this idea that someone's kind of almost being your manager. Like it talks about how like you have to have a good relationship with your patron as well.
Right.
You have to. So as your character, you're gonna constantly like on the road. You're just gonna be like carving something or drawing a little picture.
Right.
Again, more.
He pays
things.
45 gold for one of these.
Yeah.
I have to make sure that I keep finishing this pot.
Exactly.
But it's neat because I could see this going. The painting, the sculpting, the writing, all of that. There are a lot of creative players that we have out there.
Oh, yeah.
Especially, we got a lot of writers in our campaigns, too. They sit down, they write these verbose stories or what have you. Wouldn't it be great if we could turn those stories into profit?
Yeah, and with this background, you actually can, which is really nice.
It's really cool. Now, speaking of profit... This is one that spoke to me.
Yeah, I think this is probably...
It's a good pun, right?
Oh, yeah. This is probably Tony's favorite one out of the ones we picked.
It is. Have you ever wanted to spend your days babysitting belligerent drunkards while trying to desperately earn a living? Well, too bad. Someone has to do it. As a barmaid, and this is the next one, is barmaid, you spend your life using both charisma and brute strength to persuade, in quotes, drunkards to follow the rules like everybody else. And you get persuasion and intimidation. Those are the two skill proficiencies. You get proficiency in a game set of your choice, in either brewer's supplies, calligrapher's supplies, or cook's utensils, kind of similar to the other one, but I like the gaming thing. That's kind of cool. And then equipment, and this one made me laugh. You get a bardsmaid's outfit, a weighted club, a flask filled with mead or hard cider, an instrument, game set, and a pouch of 15 gold. But where this one really shines... is its feature.
Yeah, and in every D&D campaign or every campaign that you're ever in, there's always a tavern. There's always a place where all the drunk people go. And in this feature, you get something called plastered persuasion. So basically, after all your years working in the bar and tavern, you're an expert in getting what you want from the drunk, the tipsy, and the plastered. So as a DM, if you let this character walk into a bar, oh man, advantage all day. Like when it comes to working with all these like drunk people.
Of course, and not even to mention that. Think about going out traveling with a group.
Yeah.
Think about this, because what does she get? She or he could be a male barmaid.
Oh yeah, of course.
That's fine. Persuasion and intimidation. That's where their skill proficiencies are.
Yeah.
So you have that flask of mead or cider that you get out with you. You could persuade someone to drink with you, and then be able to get information out of them.
Good old carrot with the stick mentality.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, she also has the stick.
That's true.
That weighted club, she can beat you with the stick. But I the reason why I personally love this one is because it's so, like, everyone thinks, okay, the barmaid is, she's, sometimes the temptress like that. Sometimes she's there. But the idea that she also has this very strong presence.
Yeah.
That if you tick her off, you're.
Oh no, absolutely. This is the kind of character that's like, no holds barred. They can handle themselves. Like they're ready to go, and like they can handle like any kind of situation when it comes to drunk people. So it's great.
That brings us to our last one, doesn't it, Sean?
Yeah, this one's great. So
this one is great. And speaking of being able to handle things on your own, this one just can't.
It really can't, because this one is the village idiot, and the description for this one is a single line: "You weren't just dumb, you were infamously stupid." You somehow
I love this one too.
Yeah,
I really want to get into the personality traits on this.
You still get proficiencies, thankfully. It's either in athletics, acrobatics, deception, or intimidation. You have tool proficiencies in painter's supplies. You learn primordial language.
If you're wondering why painter supplies, primordial, and then athletics, acrobatics, deception, intimidation, I get the deception. Because we'll get into that. But if you take a look at this, all those things really don't make sense.
I was about to say, even when I was about it, those actually don't really work together. I think that's the point.
Right, because it's the village idiot.
Exactly. There's this amalgamation of this person. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You get a couple things. I love this. Besides like some gold in a backpack, you also get a picture book you drew with monsters, plants, or people you've heard of or seen that you keep drawing in.
Yeah.
So it's like your little journal, but instead of writing, you just kind of scribble in there.
Yeah. See, and we'll get to that too, because when we get into the personality traits, there's a reason why you're drawing pictures. But the feature is Feign Ignorance. Now, this one comes with a couple of different features as well, because there's some variant features there, like Pity of the Arrogant or Hiding Intelligence, but they all kind of have the same flavor and theme to them. And that's Feign Ignorance is people generally don't think to ask you what you know.
Right.
And even have disadvantage on attempts of finding out what you know. So because you've got this veil of stupidity about you, they go, oh, well, don't bother asking that one about, where the plans are.
Exactly.
But you actually know. The Village Idiot is just kind of this
right.
running gag.
That's just kind of the background that you've built. However, you don't have to necessarily be completely stupid. No. That's just kind of like the idea that you're giving off to the NPCs and everyone else, which is great for role-playing, and it's actually really cool. Like, you can kind of almost like pseudo be stealthy in a way, because like no one's ever going to really try and ask you for anything.
Right. You've got this, like, everyone always thought you're just this big dumb.
Right. So they'll never assume it's you.
And it's, as far as the variance on that Hiding Intelligence, you're always afraid of people might think if they found out you actually were smart, so you play dumb a little too well. And then the Pity of the Arrogant. You obtain small bits of token aid from arrogant villagers while they lord over you. So anybody that thinks that they're superiorly intelligent to you takes pity on you. So they give you little things. Maybe a morsel of food. Oh my God, this is Malnus.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
This is so totally
I've made
Malnus.
this already. Now, all of the backgrounds have personality traits, ideals, and bonds that you can pick. And of course, naturally, you can always set up your own. But the nice thing is, the ones that we've actually picked, they actually give you a lot of different good choices. We're actually going to look at the one for Village Idiot, because these are great.
Yeah.
And you can roll for these, and whatever you end up with is awesome.
You can roll, you can pick one, but each one is just is phenomenal with it. So on here, we'll go over the personality traits. We'll probably list them up here for you. But on the personality traits on this, I love these. You can't read or write is number 1. 2, I don't understand what money means.
What's this metal circle?
People keep giving me these little things. No, it's, 3,
sometimes I use words that sound like other words because I don't know the difference.
Bigly.
Number 4, numbers are just funny letters and can easily be exchanged for each other.
So even if you did have the writing, what have you, you'd have, oh God, it's like leet speak.
Oh my gosh,
you'd have like 7s and 3s in different places.
People talk like that right now.
Number 5. What is mathematics? 6 is, I always misquote people I remember fondly, but I have no idea what their words mean or what context their wisdom is used in. 7 is, if it doesn't interest me, it's not important, which is a common thing.
Yeah, I feel like you don't have to be a Village Idiot to have that.
I'm going to give you this last one. Oh
yeah, so this was great. Number 8, books without pictures are no different than firewood. So yeah, I mean, again, there's just the way that this one was written up was fantastic. I think there's a lot of role-playing options with this, and as well as the other 3 backgrounds that we chose.
Yeah, and remember, you can always tweak these or change these in any way you want. There's a lot of backgrounds on D&D Beyond. In fact, I don't know, we've only picked 4 of them, but there was hundreds to just choose from.
So many.
So feel free to go back through there and take a look, because there's some hidden gems back there too.
Yeah.
And you don't always have to be that hermit or that
or
that folk hero
or someone who lost everything. You can just have a nice background. That's totally plausible.
Totally homebrew it yourself, because homebrewing is the best thing that you can do to make a campaign fun and exciting. So until next time, remember, the best campaigns are always the ones that are home brewed, so
keep brewing.